Welcome everyone, in this video I'm doing something a little bit different. I'm posting this on my YouTube channel, on my social media networks, basically Meta services. So Meta being the parent company of Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Threads, and Oculus Rift, on my personal and YouTube accounts on Meta services. The reason I'm doing this is because I've made numerous videos about Meta and how you just need to get rid of their services, but people I care about, friends and family, just don't seem to care. In fact, when I tell them about how bad the situation is, for instance, I've told my wife, parents, and in-laws they cannot take pictures of my kids anymore. As long as they're using those services on their phones, they cannot take pictures and videos of my children. Simply put as that. And when I talk to other people about this, they look at me like I'm crazy. I'm crazy for wanting data privacy of myself and my children, as if I should be wearing a tinfoil hat. But I'm not good with arts and crafts, so I'll do one even better. Boop! There. Now I look like the crazy one, right? So I'll give you an analogy as to why you should get rid of these services. Let's say you take pictures and you print them like you used to do back in the early 2000s and 90s, and you want to physically share them with people. But in order to share these photos physically with people, a company says we need to scan every single picture, note down every single person's face, who they are, and sell all that data, including the data of your children, grandchildren, nephews, nieces, uncles, aunts, friends, everybody. You'd be pretty creeped out and think that's kind of weird, right? Except that's exactly what you're doing with Meta services, except it gets even worse than that. What if I told you that you took pictures, physically printed them, and let's say your wedding album, you put it in your closet. You don't share it with anyone. It's just for you and your spouse. Except that same company will unlock the door to your house, take your photo album, scan all the pictures, and sell all that data without your permission. That's exactly what's happening. I've made numerous YouTube videos about this subject, especially the latter part of what I just mentioned. Because on Facebook and Instagram, people are getting pop-ups about these AI enhanced, features and this and that, but the verbiage is very misleading, letting you think that's going to enhance your experience about sharing content. However, the reality is when you read the fine print, what it's actually doing is Meta AI is scanning the photos you do not upload to Facebook and Instagram. So all your private pictures are being scanned by their AI and selling the data. Now, this is an opt-in feature, but a lot of people don't understand the wording, so they'll accept it. But for people that opt out, it's been reported by numerous people around the world that when they opt out, they look at the feature back again in the settings, and it's been automatically turned back on. So nothing is private. In fact, I'm going to start telling everyone else, my friends and family, never take pictures of my kids ever again. They're just too young to make that decision for themselves. You're not allowed to make that decision for them. Meta is so bad that I made a 27-minute video on YouTube detailing 8 years of Meta breaking privacy laws, being successfully sued. They've been caught, by newspaper outlets and lawyers. This is all legitimate information. It's not fake made up stuff. It's grotesque. They will bribe children and teenagers to install a Meta VPN so they can scan literally everything they're doing on their cell phone. Literally everything. Everything they tap, every website, every app, everything. They were bribing children for that data. In fact, in the United States, it was also found by law firms that Meta was buying personal health information being sold by American hospitals. Hospitals are selling personal health information to Meta. In fact, there's a menstrual cycle tracking app called Flow. They were successfully sued because, again, they were selling their data to Meta. This is how disgusting this company is, and they don't stop. In fact, the situation was so bad that Meta executives, Mark Zuckerberg, and past and present executives were successfully sued for $8 billion by their own shareholders. Do you know how insane that is? Shareholders want the executives to make them richer by making them successful, but they were so out of control with selling people's data, they successfully sued them for $8 billion US. Now, I'm not saying I'm perfect myself. I was under the influence of addiction with Instagram Reels. I didn't doom scroll dozens and dozens of videos at a time, wasn't that addicted. But I got to the point where if I had to microwave my food for about a minute, I would instinctively pick up my phone and look at Instagram Reels. Just some brain dead content. And after all these privacy videos and research I did, I decided to uninstall these services. And when I started doing stuff like microwaving my food, I naturally picked up my phone, looking to open up Instagram. I was like, but I don't have it. That's when I realized I also had a minor addiction. I know people that doom scroll hours at a day, and you think that your data is not being sold. It is. They're feeding the algorithm. That's how they know what reel to post next for you to watch, and you get stuck on them. You go to a restaurant. Let me take a picture of my restaurant. Why? Why does anyone carry you into a restaurant? People go on the honeymoon. They take pictures of they went on the honeymoon. Who asked for that? Share it with your parents, maybe. Why do you need to share it with everyone you know, or sometimes publicly on the internet? Who asked for that? It's an addiction problem. You're getting dressed up for someone's wedding. You're all dressed up in a fancy suit and dress. I need to post it on Facebook and Instagram right now. Why? It's an addiction problem. It's a simple dopamine hit so that you can feel good temporarily and you become addicted to this feeling. Just stop. I run YouTube channels. I should be using social media. People that know me personally know that I hate social media. That's why my social media accounts suck, and that's why I'm dropping them. This will probably be the last post I ever do on Instagram and Meta services in general. I'm not sure if I'm going to delete the accounts because the problem is I have links in my YouTube videos, so I don't want someone to steal my handles and then post malicious content. But I can say that these will be the last posts at the very least. I've tried desperately with friends and families to tell them, don't use WhatsApp. I'm moving to Signal. Signal is safe and secure. It doesn't track your data. The founder of WhatsApp sold WhatsApp, the app, for billions of dollars to Meta and quit Meta because they were selling people's data. He's disgusted by their behavior and then funded Signal for privacy. Do you see how all these stories are insane? And I've covered all this in numerous YouTube videos. When I was leaving chats on WhatsApp, I copied and pasted this little snippet paragraph to everyone saying, hey, I'm leaving WhatsApp because it's not secure. End-to-end encryption is garbage. I made a whole video about this explaining in detail, and you should leave. Here's what people responded with. Some people responded with, well, I have nothing to lose. I don't care if they sell my data. Okay, but everyone you interact with on WhatsApp, if you have a contact named Mom, they're going to know who your mom is now and their name and number, and they're selling that data. So you might not care about yourself, but Meta services are designed to create relationships on your profile so they know who to sell data about. Some people responded back saying, oh yeah, I support you. I know I should drop WhatsApp and Meta's evil, but it's just so hard to leave these services. Bull garbage. You just don't care. You want to pat yourself on the back, telling yourself that you know Meta's a bad company, but you're going to continue using their services. Most of the people did nothing. No response. Do you know how many people I know on WhatsApp, when I message them, how many people dropped WhatsApp and came to Signal or some other privacy alternative method? None. Not one family member or friend stopped using WhatsApp. They're addicted to it. It's a chat service app. People can change services. It's easy. People have done it all the time. Merck, MIRC back in the day. You had AOL Chat, MSN Messenger, BlackBerry Messenger, iMessenger, RCS Chat. There's so many chat services people shift around. You cannot go without it. You need to share your information with the whole world all the time. It's a dopamine problem. I just want you to stop being the product of these evil companies like Meta that have broken numerous laws. That includes Google. I'm using a Graphene OS. It's a privacy-based OS, including Apple. Every single time Tim Cook opens his big blabbering lying mouth about privacy, he's lying. In one of my Meta videos, the 27-minute video, I detailed about how Apple repeatedly was buying people's private chat data from Facebook. Even after Apple was caught doing it, they kept doing it for months after. Apple does not care about your privacy. Google, Meta, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Spotify, so on and so forth. They're all like this. They all buy data from each other, violating your privacy. Some people say we're heading down a dystopian future where we don't own anything, but it's too late. It's already happening. You don't own your movies and TV shows because you stream it on Netflix and Amazon and all these other 50 billion streaming services. You don't own your music because you have to stream it on iTunes or YouTube or Spotify. You don't own your storage of your data because when you upload it to Google Drive or OneDrive, it's being scanned by AI services. They can delete that data anytime they want. Again, I made a video about that as well. And they sell that data, and you don't own your privacy. I made this video primarily to be vulnerable on the internet to my friends and family who will watch this, but also perfectly good strangers on my YouTube channel, hoping that one of you, my friends and family, or even a stranger, will wake up and get rid of this stuff like I did. It's actually such a relief. I have more time to read comics on my phone. It's not tracking my data. I'm studying for cybersecurity certification. I'm more productive. I'm not desperate to know what's happening in everyone's life 24/7. You don't need to like or subscribe this video, depending on where you're watching it. I just hope you learn something and it makes a difference.